No, it's like a roller coaster. It's up and down. And
He's miserable. Okay, you
I'm
gotta
fine.
get better.
I'm
Hopefully,
fine
it's
when
with
I'm
you.
when I'm on drugs, so then I'm fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah, my son's really sick right now.
What's the
Oh, I
matter?
hope he feels better.
Got like a really monster flu, or it's not a flu, it's like a cold. He's just feels lousy and his nose is running buckets.
Okay, Refuah Shlema. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit class, studying apples from the orchard for the second time, beginning after Pesach 2014. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe, Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yisrael Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion. Superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. Okay, so Alan, what page are we on?
We are on page. Sure, that page doesn't have a number.
1323.
1323. Emor 5.
Yeah.
In the back.
In the back. That's where 1323 is. In the back.
It's right after 1322.
Yeah, the blank page.
Okay. All right.
They're both blank.
So today we're going to do half of the chapter.
Hmm. Okay. A lot of gematria.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. The first day of Pesach marks the day we left Egypt. Starting the next day, we count 49 days until Shavuos, when we receive the Torah. Every day that we count the Omer, we mention another sub-sephira. The first week are the sub-sephirot of Chesed, the second week, sub-sephirot of Gvura, and so on. Okay, Alan, please start.
Counting the Omer. Starting on the day after the day of rest, from the day you bring the Omer as a wave offering, you must count for yourselves 7 weeks. They must be complete. In this parsha, Hashem commands us to count the Omer between Pesach and Shavuos.
Okay, 2. The day we left Egypt, the intellect within Zeranpin was in a developed state. I think it means the intellect within Zeranpin was in a developed state, but this was only temporary. It had to be developed for Israel to leave Egypt. After the first day, the developed intellect left Zeranpin and reverted to its undeveloped state. The 3 states of intellect, Chochmah, Bina, and Das, were hidden in the 3 primary states of Zeranpin, Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes. Okay, go ahead, Ellen.
It has been explained previously that the mature consciousness possessed by Zeranpin at the moment of the Exodus was only temporary. That is, for the first night of Pesach, in order for the Jewish people to be redeemed. After the first day of Pesach, all these states of expanded consciousness departed from Zeranpin, and it returned to its original exilic state. That is, the 3 aspects of the mind hidden within the 3 primary aspects of the emotions. Exile is a metaphor for constricted consciousness, which in Kabbalah is termed immature consciousness. Thus, when we suffer from constricted divine consciousness, we are said to be in exile. Constricted consciousness means that our divine consciousness is not sufficiently powerful to affect our emotions. Much as an immature child cannot control his emotions with his intellect simply because his intellect is not sufficiently developed to do this. So, yeah.
That's a good metaphor, good example.
The process of maturation must begin by example. A child sees his parents behave maturely and understands that this is something he should aspire to. The parental example is an external cause for the internal process that will then proceed within the child's consciousness. Similarly, the exodus from Mitzrayim had to occur through a divine act, which was the one-time release of the Jews from Egyptian slavery. After that, the Jews had to free themselves from the mentality of slavery in order to be prepared to receive the Torah on Shavuos. This is the purpose of counting of the Omer. Another example of this process would be that of a student learning from a teacher. In order to understand the teacher's lesson, Shavuos, the student must prepare himself in advance, doing his homework properly, counting the Omer. But in order to inspire the student to undertake this process, the teacher must inspire the student. He must show him an example, preferably in himself, of the kind of person that mastery of the subject matter can turn a person into the Exodus. The effect
Well, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The effect of these initial inspirational glimpses, like all revelations from above, though essential, is ephemeral. After the initial wow has faded, the initiate or neophyte must set out to refine himself.
Okay. Can't be programmed.
No.
Got to work on it. Number 3. This is why we say the whole Hallel, the first day of Pesach. It was the only day the intellect of Zerampin was developed. The rest of Pesach, we say half Hallel. Of course, outside of Israel, so we have the first 2 days of Pesach that are the beginning of Yantif, and then we say the entire Hallel both days. Okay, go ahead.
This is why we recite. This is why we only recite the full Hallel on the first day of Pesach. On the subsequent days of Pesach, only half Hallel is recited. Full Hallel expresses the ecstasy of receiving an intense revelation of divine consciousness.
4. Each
Now,
day.
we actually don't recite, because we're Gullus, don't we recite the full Hallel the first 2 days?
That's what he said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we actually say the first 2 days,
Right.
and that's counted as the first day of Pesach.
This counts the first, okay.
Okay. Yeah. 4. Each day of the Omer, we bring one sub-sephira back into Zerampin, 1 day at a time, for a total of 49. We do not include Keser. We begin with Chachma. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
from the second night of Pesach on, we draw down these states of expanded consciousness again. As stated, they entered Zeranpin on the first night of Pesach, but then departed, and now they gradually re-enter it in an orderly fashion, each level on its corresponding day, via our performance of the commandment of counting the Omer during the 50 day from Pesach to Shavuos.
Okay. 5. Now we count the 3 spheres of intellect and the 3 primary spheres of Zerampin, Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes. This connects to Malchus for a total of 7. This is different. So if you'll notice, first of all, we skip the lower 3 spheres of Zerampin, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. I guess they're included within Chesed, Gvor, and Tiferes. Now, this is different than the way we count our Omer. We do not count Chachma, Bina, and Das, and instead we count the other spheres of Zerampin, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. for whatever reason. Okay, continue the process followed.
The process followed during these 7 weeks is as follows. When Zeranpin begins to again receive its mature, expanded consciousness, it is known that the Sephira of Kesser is not counted. We count only from Chochmah of Zeranpin on down.
Okay, now 6. Here we go. There's the coupling and the interacting. Hold on. I don't know if this was.
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Jim, continue to it.
To wit, we first count Chachma Bina Das and Chesed Gevurah Tiferet. It is at this point that the construction of the female counterpart to Zer Anpin, that is Malchus, whatever, both, begins taking place behind Tiferet of Zer Anpin as is known. Counting Nukva as one, they are together 7 sub-Sifirot of Zer Anpin. Corresponding to them, we count the Omar during these 7 weeks. Note that this system differs from the one we usually see in our prayer books, in which the 7 weeks of counting the Omer correspond straightforwardly to the 7 emotions. The system presented here is more advanced, reflecting how the intellect informs the emotions. In this system, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod are not treated explicitly, presumably, since they are offshoots of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet.
Okay. 6. In order for Zeranpin and Nukva to interact, all 7 spheres must be fully repaired. This is done at the sub-Sephira level, 1 sub-Sephira each day. The first week, 7 sub-spheres of Chachma are repaired. The second week, 7 sub-spheres of Bina are repaired, and so on, until the 7th week, 7 sub-spheres of Malchus are repaired. Please note that according to this, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod are included in Chesed, Gvurah, and Tiferes. 7 spheres with 7 sub-spheres each makes for 49 days that we count the Omer.
Okay. So it is impossible for Zer Anpin and Nukva to couple until these 7 sub-Sifirot are fully constructed and rectified. Only then are they fit to couple, inasmuch as each of the 7 includes aspects of all 7. 7 days do not suffice to count the Omer, rather 7 weeks are required, for each week consists of 7 days. And thus, during each of these 7 weeks, one of these 7 Sifirot can be rectified. During the first week, the part of the mind known as Chachma are rectified in 7 constituent aspects, and so on. During the 7th week, sub-Sephira of Malchus is rectified in all its 7 constituent aspects. So day 1 of the week of Chachma, 2 Bina, 3 Das, 4 Chesed, 5 Gevurah, 6 Tiferet, 7 Malchus.
Day
Right.
of the week. Okay. All
Day
right.
of week 1, day of week 2, day of week 3, etc. Day
No,
of week 4.
the first day of the week, second day of the week, third day of the week.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
don't
think Chachma is all the first week. I think Bina is the second week. Das, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, and Malchus.
I'm not sure what he means here, Jim. You'll see. It's interesting to see what he says in the next paragraph.
Okay,
Ready?
I'm just suggesting. All
I
right.
say just wait and see over here.
All right.
Give me the other
All
one.
right. Okay.
The 7. There, he says both. There are 2 valid ways the repair of the spheres can take place, or the development maturation of the spheres can take place. The first is that the first week, the sphere of Chachma, with all 7 subspheres, is repaired. Chachma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, and Malchus within Chachma, and then so too for all 7 spheres and 7. I think sounds better. Wait. Yeah, there are 2 valid ways. And this is the first one. Okay, go ahead.
In my, Rabbi Chaim Vitel's humble opinion, it appears according to what the Arizal taught me, there are 2 meditations regarding the process, both of which are true. The first is, during the first week, the Chachma mind completely enters Zerampin, including all of the 7 aspects it should possess. For as stated, it must include within it Chachma Bina, Das, Chesed Gevurah Tiferet, and Malchus. All these are circumscribed and present within Chachma mind. A similar process is followed with regard to the rest of the 7 Sifrot at Zerampin, each one requiring 1 full week.
Okay, 8. This second way is that the subsphere Chachma is repaired in all spheres. The first day, Chachma of Chachma. The second day, Chachma of Bina. The third day, Chachma of Das. And on the 7th day, Chachma of Malchus. And that's the first week. And the same thing for for the other 6 weeks.
Okay, so you got 2 different perspectives. The second is that during these 7 weeks, the Chachma mind spreads throughout the 7 subsifrot of Zerampin as follows. During the first day of the week, the aspect of Chachma mind that is fit for Chachma of Zerampin spreads throughout it. On the second day of the first week, the aspect of Chachma mind that is fit for Bina of Zerampin spreads throughout it. And this Chachma mind continues to spread through the rest of the 7 subsifrot until on the 7th day of the first week, it spreads throughout Malchus. During the second week, the Bina mind spreads through the 7 subsifrot of Zerampin. Each day, one aspect of it spreading to the appropriate subsifrot. The process continues for 7 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
So they're both there.
Yeah. Now, these 2 approaches are dichotomous, but both are possible. According to what the author of Chaim Vital had written in his notes, it appears that the first one is what he heard from his teacher, the Arizal. Abigail, would you like to continue? These 2 perspectives.
These 2 perspectives are clearly opposite in nature, yet can both be effective. Nonetheless, the first one seems to be the truer one, according to what I found written in my notebook of what I heard from my teacher of blessed memory when I heard this exposition from him.
You see from the 2 texts, the 2 books, it says they're almost identical. It's called Shar Kavanah. The one on the right is Shar Kavanas. The one on the left is Priyas Chaim. The Priyas Chaim is quoted very often. Shar Kavanas, not so much. But I guess he sold more books this way, even if it's similar. You hear that, Abigail?
I heard that.
It's a clue.
Fully for him. Can you say that?
As we've seen many times, there are 4 values of expanded spelling of Avaya, depending how the letters Hey and Vav are spelled. If the Heys have Yuds, as Hey Yud, the value is 72. If the Heys have Heys, it can be 63 or 52. And if the Heys have Aleph, the value is 45. Now, what happens is that the first week is Chachma, which is associated with the name of 72. The second week is Bina, which is associated with the name of 63. The third week is Chesed, with Chesed within Das. We had, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago that Das has 2 components, a Chesed component and a Gvura component. So the Chesed component in Das is associated with the name of 45, And the fourth week is Gvura within Das, which is associated with the name of 52. The fifth week is Chesed, the first of the emotions. It's associated with the name of 72. The sixth week is Gevura, associated with the name of 63. And the seventh week is Tiferes and Malchus. Since we split Das into two, we got one extra, so Tiferes and Malchus have to share the seventh week. And they're male and female, being that they're male and female, so I guess they can count as one unit. And they're associated with the names of 45 and 52, respectively.
Respect.
Respectively.
Respectfully.
Respectively and
Respectively.
Okay. Go ahead, Abigail.
So I will now explain the process followed during the 7 weeks according to the first of these two perspectives. During the first week, the entire sub-sephira of Chachma is rectified. It thus reflects the 72 name Havaya, which is spelled out with the letter Yud. The second week is devoted to Bina, reflecting the 63 name. The third week is devoted to the states of Chesed within Das, which reflects the 45 name, spelled out with the letter Aleph. The fourth week is devoted to the states of Gevura within Das, reflecting the 52 name, spelled out with the letter Hey. The fifth week is devoted to Chesed, reflecting again the 72 name. The sixth week is devoted to Gevura, reflecting again the 63 name. The seventh week is devoted to Tiferes and Malchus together, since they issue from Ima attached back to back. This is why they receive only 1 week for the two of them. Nonetheless, since they are, after all, two Sephiros, it is proper to have two names Havaya in mind when counting the Omer this week, i.e. the 45 name for Tiferes and the 52 name for Malchus, which are male and female respectively. So week 1, Chachma, 72 name, 2, Bina, 63 name. Week 3, the states of Chesed within Das, 45 name. Week 4, the states of Gevura within Das, the 52 name. Week 5, Chesed, 72 name. Week 6, Gevura, 63 name. Week 7, Tiferes and Malchus, 45 name and 52 name. We have seen previously how the four names Havaya, 72, 63, 45, and 52 correspond to Chachma, Bina, the Midos, and Malchus, respectively. Here we see that Hesed, as a branch of Chachma, is also associated with the 72 name, and Gevura, as a branch of Bina, is also associated with the 63 name. Tiferes, being the central sephira of the Midos, takes association to the 45 name. Thus, in this scheme, all four names are reflected twice.
Okay.
You're right. It's not gematria. It's a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
so complicated like we.
No, this is a different. Yeah, this is a new thing.
Yeah. Although I still whatever.
Yeah.
I still struggle to write the notes. So this is as far as I got. It's about halfway in the chapter. And the next paragraph, he starts to explain something else. And also, I mean, I wasn't able to prepare more, but also when I prepare, I never know how long it's going to take us.
It
So
feels like
it seems like the next paragraph begins a new conversation.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So we'll leave that for next week.
Okay.
Next week is 5.5 pages.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All
So,
right,
be
folks.
well, everyone. Jim, missed your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Chaim, are you still recording?
Yeah, let me close it.